Hello and welcome back to another video. This is Champion 2D Rob back again, guys, and this is a pickups video. Basically the pickups from December and November and probably a little bit of October as well. And yeah, I have tried to put this video out sooner. I'm actually filming this video on Christmas Eve, so hopefully this will be out the following day. That's when you're seeing it. Yeah, just I've been busy trying to getting other stuff done. I just wasn't able to put this video together sooner, but who cares? It's here now, and yeah. So basically, like I say, the pickups from the last 3 months, and it's pretty much all PS4 and Switch. I did get some Saturn pickups, but I need to sort that out. Before I post them up on a video. I'm also, these are just going to be stuff that I picked up primarily at retail rather than sort of small print run companies, because that's going to be a video on its own because there's just so much stuff to show and I don't want to make this video too long. So anyway, guys, I'll go straight into it. So yeah, I've got here PlayStation 4, Switch, a couple of other bits, and one item that I got from the swap shop as well. So the very first thing I'm going to start with, and this is something I can't remember, you guys will know when this came out, can't remember it now, but a lot of people picked this up. I'm glad to have picked this up. It wasn't necessarily, I was sort of on the fence about picking this up for a little bit, but then when the pre-orders came on, I figured I'll just put my pre-order in, and if I change my mind I'll just cancel my pre-order. But as I once I put my pre-order in and I just started watching videos on this particular item, I was just starting to get more and more excited for it. And I'm glad that I went through with it, because obviously this item eventually sold out. And that is the Sega Mega Drive Mini 2. So I'm really chuffed about this, mostly because of all the Mega CD games it has on it. Primarily Final Fight CD, which is a game that I already had access to through one of my Mega SD EverDrive, which I play through my Mega Drive and stuff. But it's nice to have it in some sort of official capacity. So I'm really happy to get this. It's got some great games on here. You know, some obvious games, some not so obvious games, which I appreciate, because the one thing that's always really concerned me about these mini consoles, if it's just going to be a bunch of like the games that everybody knows, and I always felt that some of those games, not all of them, some of them were incredibly overrated and not really worth bringing back, whereas there was a lot of sort of underrated games that have, you know, been sort of forgotten through time, that are definitely worth playing and being brought back today. And I'm glad they sort of did that with these releases. They did bring back some of the obscure gems, which I felt, you know, deserved another lease on life. So well done for Sega and for putting that list together. But yeah, chuffed to get this. Yeah, just a nice little bit to have, and it goes, of course, with the first Mega Drive Mini as well. Okay, so moving on, next item I've got here, and this I got off Swap Shop. I actually bought this off a YouTube pal of mine, Ali, 16 Bits and Bobs. Now, he showed this in the Swap Shop, and at first I wasn't too sure if I was going to go with it. But, you know, then Ali got in contact with me. He was like, mate, do you still want this? And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to buy it off you, because this is an item that's going to go well with another item I have, so I thought I would pick it up. And because it's no longer, it's sort of out of print. You can't buy it anymore in shops. So this was really the only way to get it. So I figured I would get it now while I can, and that is the God of War Ragnarok PS5 Edition controller. Now, I don't currently own a PlayStation 5, but I wanted to get this because I actually do own the PlayStation 3 God of War controller, and I just sort of wanted to go along with it. Now, I will most likely pick up a PlayStation 5 at some point in the new year. I did notice that they are sort of back in stock on Amazon, and I was planning to buy one but the reality is I don't really need one right now. There's not much on there that I can't already play on PlayStation 4, so there's no real sense of urgency. The only game that I'm really looking forward to playing, and it seems to be a exclusive to the current gen, is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is the follow-up to Star Wars, what's that game called? I forgot what it's called, but you know which one I'm talking about. I'm really excited for that game, so I may wait until that game drops before I pick up a PlayStation 5. But in the meantime, it's just great to have this controller. So thanks a lot, Ali, for this. I appreciate it, man. And he even delivered it. He hand delivered it to my house as well. He came round to my house and dropped it off. So I appreciate that as well, Ali. So thank you very much for this. Awesome. Sticking with that, I also did pick up for the PlayStation 4 God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, I'm currently playing through this game. I'm almost at the end now, it seems. Really enjoyed this game. It's just fantastic. It's crazy to think, right? Because in the PlayStation 2 PS3 era, I was a big God of War man. But after playing through all of them, ending with God of War, what's it called, Resurrection or Insurrection? I forget what it's called now. I kind of felt that the series has gotten a bit stale. So when the God of War, the first of this new relaunch God of War, had been announced, I wasn't excited for it at all. I wasn't anticipating it, wasn't following it. I just kind of ignored it, to be honest. And when it finally dropped, I was like, I'll give it a go. People are saying it's good, I'll give it a go. And honestly, I was blown away by it. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't think the new viewpoint, the new way they were going, the direction they were going would work, but I was completely wrong. It was awesome. Absolutely loved it. So I was very much looking forward to this game. And so far, and I'm towards the end now, it's not disappointed. I've really been into this game. So yeah, glad to get that one. Next game, I think what I might do is I might switch between PlayStation 4 and Switch. I think I might do that. So I've got a couple of games here that I actually took advantage of the sales, the Black Friday sales. There were some good deals going around, or just random sales. Like Amazon has a bit of a random thing where they'll just dramatically drop the price on the game for a little bit and then they'll just bring it back up again. It's a bit weird. So if you don't catch it in the moment, you'll miss out. So I was quite lucky with this one because this is a game that I was keeping my eye on. And it just dropped to a price that I was willing to pick it up for, and it sort of shot back up again, weirdly enough. But glad to have picked it up for the price that I did, and that was this is for the Switch, and that's the Atari 50, the anniversary celebration. So this has got games from sort of the early days of Atari right through to the Atari Jaguar, which I thought was very interesting. I've actually not got a lot of experience with Atari. The Atari systems were not something I played as a kid. So I'm familiar with some of the more famous games and stuff, and I know a little bit about Atari's history, but I've never really had much hands-on time with any Atari system or much of its library, to be honest. So this is mostly going to be a brand new experience for me. And it's worth checking out in my opinion. I've heard nothing but good things about this compilation, so looking forward to giving this a go. Another game I picked up here, this is actually my most recent addition, and during the Black Friday sales, this game was being sold in Argos for £25, and I ended up passing up on it because the current price on it was £35, and it was selling for £25 at Argos, and I was thinking about picking it up. But I had to go in store to collect it, and I just had no time to do so. So I basically passed it up. And then of course the deal went away, and I was sort of kicking myself because this was a game that I wanted. And then randomly one day, I went on Amazon, and Amazon had dropped the price on this game to £15. So I just snapped it up right away because it was a game that I was very interested in. And the game I'm talking about is Them's Fighting Herds. Now, if you don't know about this game, this is a 2D one-on-one fighter. It has a very interesting history, this game. This game actually started out as a My Little Pony fighting game. But unfortunately, the developers of this game couldn't get the license, and I think it was Mattel. Was that Mattel or Hasbro? I can't remember which company owns My Little Pony. But they put a cease and desist order on them and basically said, look, you can't use our license, whatever. We're not going to give it to you. So what they actually did was they actually got the character designer of the current era of My Little Pony to create all new characters for their fighting game. So it still very much has the My Little Pony sort of cute aesthetic. But don't get it wrong, guys. This is actually a proper one-on-one fighter. Think Guilty Gear, Marvel vs. Capcom. It's in that style. It's just it has very cutesy characters, and I guess that's what appealed to me because it was just something a little bit different. It's not the usual big burly fighters or martial arts schoolgirls or nothing like that. It was just something very different, and that's really what appealed to me. But the fighting engine, I've yet to play it, but from what I've seen, the fighting engine looks pretty solid, and it does pretty much play like a lot of those Capcom 2D fighters. So it very much appealed to me, and for 15 quid, that's just a no-brainer. I just had to snap that up. Another game here that I did pick up during the Black Friday sales, and this is a PlayStation 4 title, and that is the Quarry. This is a game that I was looking to get, but I wasn't willing to pay the full retail for it. So it dropped down to a nice price. I think I paid 19 quid for it, something like that. This is basically like a horror title. It's one of those sort of interactive style of games, very much, my mind's drawing a blank here. What's that game called? The Rain? Oh, I'll write it down here because it really bugs me. And Until Dawn, that was the game that sort of came out on PlayStation 4. Until Dawn. Yeah, it's very much like that sort of game where you've got like a group of characters and they're surviving like an extreme encounter, and you kind of have to do a lot of button prompts and stuff to get these characters out. But some characters can die, but if you lose characters, the story does go on without them. So yeah, I just wanted to give this game a go. It wasn't really high on my list to get because I still haven't played Until Dawn. I own it, but I haven't got around to it yet. So that's one of the games I plan on playing very soon before I even play this one. But I do like those sorts of games. So yeah, looking forward to giving this one a go. Next few games I've got here, and these are actually some Asian imports. Now, I actually got this idea I was influenced by Eddie Rollercore, who's been doing a lot of his import buying through Amazon Japan. Most people will sort of go through Play Asia, which is a great company. Don't get me wrong, they've got all the latest stuff there. They deliver promptly, but it can be expensive on Play Asia. But people don't seem to realise that on Amazon Japan you can get the same games and you can actually get it delivered a lot quicker, and a lot of times the games are priced a lot cheaper as well. So I actually ended up buying 2 Switch games and 1 PlayStation 4 title, and I'll start with the PlayStation 4 title. And this is a game that I already own on the Switch. It did come out in the West. It was a American release exclusive, so we did not get it in Europe. So it was a pricey game for the Switch, the Western release. It is also available on the PlayStation 4 as well. But like they're very expensive, and the average price for it is about £50, £40 to £50. And while I owned it on the Switch, shelled out for it on the Switch, I did want to get it on the PlayStation 4, but I did not fancy spending £50 again for the title. So I noticed on Amazon Japan they were selling it for half the price. This was £24, £25. So I just snapped it up right away, and that is the Capcom Fighting Collection. And I've spoken about this collection already. It's a fantastic set of games on here. I mean, you've got pretty much the entire Darkstalker series is on here. You've got Hyper Street Fighter 2, Super Puzzle Fighter 2, Super Gem Fighter, Cyberbots is on here, and also for the first time on home consoles is Red Earth, aka Warzard, which is a great 2D fighting game from Capcom, you know. So really chuffed to have all these games in the compilation, and I wanted it on the PlayStation 4 as well. And I just want to let you guys know that this Japanese version is exactly the same as the Western release on the disc. Okay, it's English, no problems. It's just that the outer artwork, you know, obviously the title is in English, but the back of it is all in Japanese and stuff. But I can tell you now, guys, it's exactly the same as the Western release. So if you are looking to save some money, just go get the Japanese version, and you'll get it at a fraction of the cost of what the Western release goes for. So glad to get that. And for the Switch, I picked up two, at the time of this video, Asian exclusive. So there's no Western release, no limited company has picked these up for whatever reason. It's not been announced, but so I'm glad to pick these up. And fortunately, both these games do have English, so you can buy them, no problem, play them, no issues at all. And the first one I picked up here, and I'm gonna butcher it. I forget the name of this now, but it's just one of those names. It's like a really long name, but part of the name is Scarlet Symphony. It's something Scarlet Symphony, and this is very much a Castlevania Symphony of the Night style of game. You know, it's got the sprite work, it has the gothic style. It's very similar to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but it does have one feature that makes it a little bit different from that game, and that is the boss encounters. When it goes into the boss encounters, it sort of turns into a bullet hell shoot 'em up, because essentially what it is that your character is able to fly, so you can run around the game like a straightforward Castlevania game, but you do have the ability to fly as well. And during the boss battles, you are required to fly across the screen and avoid projectiles and stuff. It's really interesting. Very cool game. None of the outer artwork is in English or at the back either, but this game does have English. I've been playing a little bit of it. It is so inspired by Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I've been after this one for a little while, and I was able to get it again. Amazon Japan, very cheap as well. I think I paid about £21 for this, £22, which is a bit cheaper than what Play Asia is selling it for. So, you know, and I didn't have to pay any shipping on it either, which really does help. I know I did pay shipping, but it was combined shipping, so I did save a lot of money on it. So really chuffed to get this one. And like I say, guys, at the time of this video, this is not getting no Western release, so worth picking up. And the other game I got here, again, this is very much inspired by the Castlevania Metroid style of games, the explorative action platformer, and this is another cool one, and that is Overlord Escape from Nazarick. I believe this is based on an anime, but it is very much in that Castlevania Symphony of the Night Metroid style of gameplay, explorative action platforming. It's gotten some really good reviews. It looks awesome. It really bums me out that these games have not been given Western releases, but I guess it doesn't really matter if you can just easily import it. And again, it does have English on it, so you can play it no problems. And yeah, this was another cheap one as well. I think I paid about £22 for this, £23. Very easy to get. So I got these three games off Amazon Japan. I was able to get for combined shipping, and it was not expensive at all. So really chuffed to get those. And a title that I did want to get on Amazon Japan, but I think at the time I was looking, I noticed that it was actually just cheaper to get a copy on eBay, on UK eBay. So I just got it on that instead of going through Amazon Japan. And that game is The Company Man. Again, this is another title that's not been given any form of Western release. It is available digitally, and you can download the demo for this game on the eShop. And it's a really cool action platformer. It's not like an exploration based action platformer. It's pretty much a straightforward action platformer. It's difficult to describe this game. It's basically sort of like you're an office worker, and it's sort of like the levels play out like typical like office scenarios, but sort of exaggerated into like this crazy sort of world where things can kill you and stuff, but it's all sort of centered around the office. Very, very interesting, fun to play. I played the demo of it, really enjoyed it, so I wanted to pick up the game. But this wasn't that expensive. I think I paid 25 or 30 quid, something like that. But yeah, chuffed to get this one as well. And this does have English, but again, there's no Western physical release of this title. Okay, so moving on as well, we've got here another PlayStation 4. Now this I did actually get from Pixel Heart. The game itself is available at retail, but the reason why I went to go with the Pixel Heart version is because I also wanted to get the soundtrack to this game, which I think is very underrated, and I don't think people bring it up nearly enough. I do own the game physically already for the Switch, but I wanted to get it on the PlayStation 4. And it's a game that very much is my cup of tea, and that is Wallachia, Reign of Dracula. So this is basically like an action platformer, sort of melee run and gun kind of game. It's not really platform heavy, it's more sort of run and gun, but think more games like Shinobi. It's more like classic Shinobi, stuff like Shinobi 3, you know, or games like Rolling Thunder. It kind of has that kind of style of platforming. Really fun game. A lot of people think this game is like Castlevania, and I don't blame them for thinking that, because I thought the same thing as well, because aesthetically, tonally, it's very, very Castlevania. But from a gameplay standpoint, it doesn't play anything like Castlevania. It is more of a running gun, melee hack and slash. So more like Shinobi. Think classic Shinobi, and that's basically what this game is, but of course with sort of Castlevania clothes on. So yeah, I was really chuffed to get this on PlayStation 4. These are just the sorts of games that just really appeal to me. And since I got this one from Pixel Heart, this is not the retail release. It is a numbered release. So I got that. But like I say, I wanted to get the soundtrack. So here we go. I've got the Wallachia Reign of Dracula soundtrack. And this has a lot of, this is a double CD. So this has a lot of tracks on there. Really, really cool. Just chuffed to get that. Yeah, just saw the opportunity. This was exclusive to Pixel Heart, so I thought I would pick it up. So chuffed to get the CD to the game as well. Really enjoy the game. That's why I own them for both the Switch and PlayStation 4. Moving on here, I've got another PlayStation 4 title here. This is a game that again I wanted to pick up, but I wanted to wait till it dropped in price, and that is the King of Fighters 15. Really, really fun actually. I mean, I have King of Fighters 14, and while graphically I don't think much of it, it is fun to play. But I think from a gameplay standpoint, this one is a big improvement over 14. Really is a lot of fun, very fast, very fluid. You know, the characters look great. I still don't like the look, because they've opted to go for what Capcom have done with the Street Fighter games, more of a 3D, I don't want to say polygonal, that just seems wrong nowadays, but you know what I'm talking about. It just has more of this sort of 3D look to it, where the characters just, you know, they're not that pretty to look at, you know. When you compare them to, say, like the characters in Guilty Gear Strive, which even though they are 3D models, they're very much drawn to look like 2D artwork, and they look amazing. But that being said, though, you know, you just King of Fighters. I love the series. I love the characters. A lot of great characters that I've played throughout the years, and this is definitely a fun one. So I'm glad I actually picked it. I think I paid. Can't remember how much I paid for this though. It was quite cheap though, so very, very chuffed to pick this one up. Another PlayStation 4 game that I've been meaning to pick up here. I can't remember what. I think this is either like a point and click game or a 3D sort of adventure puzzle game, and it really caught my interest, and that is Ghost of Patel. Just really looked interesting. Picked it up for cheap. and I just thought I wanted to give it a go. This looks like a great little game. And I've got a couple of games here that I picked up from the game collection. Again, PlayStation 4. Bought these games super cheap. One of them I was probably looking to get, so when I saw a game for this price, I just had to snap it up. And the game I got for the PlayStation 4 was Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. This is sort of like a Western action RPG. It looks really good. I've been looking at this game. I've actually been looking at reviews of this game, and it came out originally on the PlayStation 3 and was just considered a bit of a hidden gem, a bit of an underrated title. And then it got re-released on PlayStation 4. And when I saw the game collection was selling this for £5, I think it was like £5, less than £5, like £4 something, just snapped it up right away. So I look forward to giving that a go. And the other game I bought from the game collection, and this is one that I've always been looking at. This game has actually gotten, to be honest, average to bad reviews. But the game itself did appeal to me, so I wanted to check it out for myself. And again, for the price, definitely worth picking up. And that is Left Alive. So this actually uses a lot of the artwork, the same character designer from the Metal Gear Solid games did the artwork for this game as well. This is basically like a third-person action shooter, and by Square Enix. It's published by Square Enix, and this game here I bought for a £5 as well. So for that price, couldn't really say no. Willing to give it a go. Again, a couple more titles here for the PlayStation 4. Also picked these ones up in a sale. This one I was very chuffed to get. It dropped down to a price I was willing to pay, because this game was like about a £40 to £45 game for a long time, and then it dropped down to 25, so I snapped it up, and that is Horizon Forbidden West. I still haven't completed the first game. I got really far into it. So I was about 10 hours into the game and I stopped. Not because I thought the game was terrible or anything. I actually quite enjoyed the game, but what happened was I just got distracted by other things, and then I just left it too long, and I can't remember the story where I am, so I kind of have to start again. But glad to get this on PlayStation 4. So looking forward to giving this one a go once I complete the first game. And the last PlayStation 4 title I've got here, picked this up cheap again at the game collection. I've heard nothing but good things about this game, and that is the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Now, I'm not really one for Lego games, but I have to say, after playing Lego City Undercover, I found that game so enjoyable. Like, I really did love that game. It was so much fun. So I thought I would give another Lego game a chance, but I was always unsure which ones to get. And then this one sort of came out. Everyone was raving about it, but I wasn't willing to sort of spend the asking price for it. But this eventually, I bought it on sale. This was £16 from the game collection, so I just snapped it up. So I'm looking forward to playing this. I think I'm going to play this once I finish God of War Ragnarok. So yeah, very, very chuffed to have this one. And now just the last few Nintendo Switch games. So the next game I've got here for the Switch, and this is one title that I was aware of since the PlayStation Portable days, and I never got around to picking up for the PSP, because a few years ago I was big into collecting for the PlayStation Portable, but this was one of the titles that I completely did not get around to getting. So I was glad that it got a re-release on the Switch, and that is Tactics Ogre Reborn. So this is a tactical strategy RPG. I'm really into those games. Like, I really dig the Fire Emblem games, Advance Wars, games like that. So I'm sort of trying to pick them all up for the Switch if I can. This game was originally a Super Famicom game that then got a release on the PlayStation Portable. Never got around to getting it, unfortunately, but here I've got the Switch version at least. So looking forward to put some time into this when I can. Next game I bought here, and I actually bought this a while ago. I think I bought it back in October, maybe November, I can't quite remember. That is PacMan World Repack. This is basically a remake, remaster of the PlayStation 1 platform game. And I don't know why, but I just had an urge to play this game. I do own the original. I have it here. PacMan World. If I can take it out without all this stuff falling down. Let's see it. Yeah, so I do own the original PacMan World. And it did actually get sequels. There was a PacMan World 2 and PacMan World 3 that came out on PlayStation 2 and I think Xbox as well. So yeah, there are some differences to this game. This isn't just like a remaster where it's just been upgraded to HD. They did change some of the boss battles and stuff. Like they did make some changes to it. So looking forward to seeing the comparison of this game. But yeah, I don't know, I just fancied another sort of cutesy platformer, so I thought I would go with this one. Next game I have here, and this is a game that looks very interesting to me. As of late, I've been getting into my point and click games. Just a few point and click titles that just really look good to me, and this one looks really cool, sort of very Blade Runner-esque. And I do believe this is a sequel to another game that I've never played before, but hopefully I can play this game without having played the first one, and that is Beyond the Steel Sky. So it has sort of very much like a Blade Runner-esque world to it. It looks very interesting, so I thought I'd give that a go. And it comes in a steelbook, which is quite interesting. So it's a slipcase steelbook, so yeah, looking forward to giving that a go. And the last two games here, these are really cool. And the first one I've got here is, how do I put that? Hogy and Friends. So this is basically a shooter, a space shooter. Looks very interesting. It has sort of that sort of quirky Japanese design to it. Yeah, it just looks very interesting to me. So I thought I'd pick this up. I wanted to make sure that I didn't overspend on this game, because for a moment this game sort of jumped in price, but I waited patiently and eventually the price did come down on it again, so I managed to get it for a good price. So yeah, looking forward to giving Hogy and Friends a go. It's a very interesting shooter. And finally, for the Switch, I picked this up. This is a game I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Looks great, reminds me of some of those very colourful beat 'em ups, like games like Ninja Baseball, Batman. It's sort of the vibe I got from looking at gameplay of this. Very Ninja Baseball, Batman, and that is Jitsu Squad. So this is very colourful, anthropomorphic animals that are ninjas and stuff, and it's very colourful. It looks crazy. All the characters just look mad as hell. It looks like so much fun. Very glad to get this one. I always welcome a very, more beat 'em ups, and just to see another side-scrolling beat 'em up. Because I must admit, a lot of them do come out, but not all of them appeal to me, because there needs to be. Some of these games that do come out, they don't have a very visual, interesting look, and unlike sort of the beat 'em ups of the 90s, I don't want to sound like an old man here, but a lot of the beat 'em ups of the 90s, they all had very interesting looks to them. They were very colourful. There's always a very interesting worlds, and that to me also made it very appealing for me to want to play them. And this game very much captures that feel. Like I say, it reminds me of Ninja Baseball, Batman. So if a game reminds me of that, it's I'm gonna get it. So yeah, definitely check out Jitsu Squad, guys. Looks like a lot of fun as well. So that is it, guys. That's basically my pickups for the last 3 months. Now I did get more stuff. They're just here. But I have to do a separate video on it, because it's basically all sort of limited release titles, and there's a lot of them, and I didn't want to make the video for too long. But in any case, guys, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and you will expect to see another video from me very soon. I'll probably release it just before New Year's, so I'll put it out next week. But in any case, guys, thank you very much if you stuck around to watch the whole video. Please give it a thumbs up. It really does help my channel to grow. So thank you very much, guys, for doing so. And of course, leave a comment. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are as well, guys. It's very much appreciated. I do enjoy reading everybody's comments. So yeah, until next time, guys. Bye bye.